What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a hump day edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We got 15 games to get to yet again today. I'm not going to dilly-dally. Plus, Photoshop was being ridiculous, so I was able to get the lean slides in with the beautiful graphics, but the likes are just listed. We're going to have 3 likes on today's slate. I will say there are a lot of leans that I want to star, highlight, circle as we go through them because, hey, Jonathan Aranda, he's gone from lean to like over the course of the last 2 days. And I'm always like, hey, you never know if it's going to turn into something. Well, I ended up betting in the last 2 days in the premium Discord. He goes yard today. That felt good. That felt nice. I know something that you might like. Lindy 5 friends, $5. $5 gets you a full week of access. That's less than $1 a day to come kick it with me, Eitan Shander, Greg Ehrenberg, but primarily, you get to kick it with me. You get to talk with me in the chat all the live long day. And boy, am I in there. I'm throwing in pick'em cards, which obviously Hunter Brown decided to annihilate right from the get-go in the first inning. At least we didn't have to sweat those. Hate that guy at the moment. What a bad outing. But anyway, Lindy 5 friends, we had ourselves a decent roller coaster day. Rafaela over 1.5 total bases. Once he gets upgraded to the 6 hole, we cash that. End up having a lot of different pieces. We'll see how Profar does in the evening window. That game is all 20 minutes and 3 home runs into it. Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, Max Muncy. Wild stuff going on there in Oakland on the daily. I mean, not surprising they play in a AAA park, but you guys want to get all of the goods day in, day out, talk process. I love talking the process, including the St. Louis -1 today. We'll see how that comes to fruition. Late start to their evening. What are they at? 0-0 and a 2. Oh, man. Going to be a long time till that one gets covered. But leans, let's get to the plays. All right. Hit that like button as we begin, and we're going to start with the Jonathan Aranda home run that has gotten upgraded the last 2 days. Now, why is that, Eric? Well, I didn't expect him to be north of plus 500 in either situation. Now, you can say, oh, well, it's Detroit, The wind was blowing in slightly from right field and ended up getting ballooned to plus 575. I had to play it. So we're going to be profitable on home runs in the premium Discord no matter what. Thank goodness for that because, there was some up and down. That over that we covered, the Minnesota over, is the most ridiculous cover of the entire year. But I'm going to just talk about this slate, stay a little bit focused because my slate got completely screwed up. But Zach Littell versus Reese Olson. Not a big fan of either. Zach Littell's given up the most home runs of any starting pitcher in baseball. And Reese Olson, I like him. I think everybody does to some extent. 3.59 expected ERA, 2.89 actual ERA. But you look at some of the splits. You look at some of the splitsies. He's only given up 3 home runs on the season. That's ridiculous. But I think it's a little bit of an outlier. If you give me like plus 550 north of it on Aranda again, he just is going to show up on the card. Dodgers, LAD -1. Now, Sportside Jacob, my guy Jacob over on X, he ended up firing up that thread that I was talking about yesterday. Really appreciate it, my guy. Go check him at Sportside Jacob over on X. He'll be on the show at some point in time here for sure. Preferably when my wife is not in Toronto and making my life a living hell because I'm watching the dog alone. Duke, 105-pound Bernese Mountain Dog. Me, myself, and my dog. He's awesome. He's lovely. He's an ottoman. He's laying on the ground. He will not get up during this entire show, I'm sure. He's lazy. I'm not. The Dodgers taking on the Brewers, a little bit of laziness, malaise from them. How about the Miz? The Miz bringing 12 strikeouts. Obviously, we got closing line value on that over. Didn't matter because the Miz did Miz things. I love that arm. I always will. We backed him 4 times, 3 for 4 backing him. Didn't end up on the quarter unit that I talked about last night, but a lot of people did. He cashed in 2 innings. And then he ran the ladder into infinite places. But Joey Ohtani got a bomb off of him right out the gate. Anyway, for tomorrow, we got Tyler Glasnow making his debut. Didn't even end up going to AAA. I have no idea what to make of this game, but Tyler Glasnow is good. The bullpen is good in later stages. I just need to start putting this together too. It's really hard to know what we're going to get from the Dodgers, or I would try to back them here against Jose Quintana, who I still don't believe to be a major league quality pitcher at this stage and at this point in time. 15.8% K rate. Now, maybe I'm being a little harsh with a 3.44 ERA. That's obviously what, GMs are looking for. But I look at underlying metrics. His sinker changeup combo, That's the two pitches he's throwing a bunch over 65% of the time cumulatively. They're not grading out very well for me. So I do think worse times are ahead of him. Speaking of, well, not worst times. Worst times are when I'm not in New York with my friend Scotch the cat having breakfast tacos. That's what I want. Shout out her in the premium Discord. She's fantastic, people. Absolutely loved kicking it in New York City. But Tachman, she ends up bringing him up. She always brings up like the sharpest shit. He ends up covering his 1.5 total bases immediately. Like, we're talking immediately, first at bat. And I was like, you know what? I really think the route, because I ended up running it and simulating it. Like, I think 2+ hits is the preferred way that I would go about that one. Well, now you're sitting on a rain delay with it being, he needs to have more at bats. They're 6-1 top of the 7th. I don't even know if they're going to be able to continue that game. Probably ends up getting called. And I'm a dick, but I will hold true to try and just give you the best information I possibly can at all times. And she ended up playing both. So that's the happy story and the silver lining. She still made money. We're talking 2+ hits. This is a guy who leads the team in expected batting average north of 280. And 280. You end up with like all of these different goobers left on left. Will he end up there? I doubt it. That's the reason, obviously, that he's still in the lean category. Phillies Giants. This one is an afternoon ball game up in San Francisco, where it's still, and I quote Mark Twain all the time here, the coldest winter I ever spent was the summer in San Francisco. I think that's one of the greatest quotes ever. If you've been to San Francisco, 1, I'm sorry, but also 2, it is cold as balls. Every time I've been to San Francisco, I froze my ass off. I got to play golf up there. That was better than most. But yeah, Jesus Luzardo, tipping pitches. I never know what we're going to get. Couldn't get out of the 3rd inning last time out. And boy, was it brutal to watch against Cincinnati. But Justin Verlander, 10.8% barrel percentage, 277 expected batting average, just leaning towards the over of 8 because it's the afternoon session there in San Fran. We'll see if I need anything in that afternoon window. Jazz home run. I'm mad at him. Like, every time I play this guy, do we all have that one guy? And I'm more data centric. I'm not like emotional in that way. I'm emotional as a person. But when it comes to betting, it's like, oh, well, my impact is not going to change it. I like to have fun. I like to tilt. I like to scream at the TV and, do this and that. But I know I'm not going to have any bearing or impact unless I attend the game and scream very loudly. I can project. Anyway, Jazz home run. This guy absolutely hates me. So why do I even deal with any of his buffoonery? I don't know. Logan Evans, 347 xWOBA, 285 expected batting average. Just a soft tossing 24-year-old variety out there. I mean, one of the lower fastball grades for me. Not very good. Have fun. A lot of random rain. That screwed over Logan Gilbert today. Still mad about it. Ryan McMahon, lefty. We're looking at him against Giolito, but he kind of gives it power to everybody. But Antonio Senzatella, I mean, he was 0-0, bottom of 6, and then the Red Sox run a 9 spot out there to finish it out. Just ridiculous stuff that we're getting from them. Anyway, I don't have a lot to talk about with that. It's It's Giolito. It's Senzatella. You should expect runs, but the numbers are just absurd. Let's get over to the next section of leans. Ellie De La Cruz. We've got another guy there. Home run. Now, talked about it. Yuri Perez ends up mowing down a ton of dudes. And of course, Matt McClain, Mr. Strikeout prone. Matt McClain goes yard in the second at bat after TJ Friedel, and Friedel gets pulled. They end up bringing Connor Joe to sub for him. I'm always watching ball, friends. I know ball. Anyway, Ellie De La Cruz. Because I watched a substitution. That's a stupid segue, Eric. But anyway, not going to make fun of myself. You're an idiot. Sandy Alcantara taking on Andrew Abbott. Now I'm talking in the third person. Sandy Alcantara, 17.4%. No, technically first person. Andrew Abbott ends up getting all-star bid. He's going to be your reserve all-star guy. And I looked through the numbers. I mean, I've always liked Andrew Abbott, but I didn't know he was at like sub 2.2 ERA land, 2.15, and then 1.09 whip to go with it. Yeah. That's all-star caliber worthy instead of Clayton Kershaw. What are we even doing here? He had a decent enough outing today. It wasn't his fault that they got bludgeoned. Maybe put up some runs if you're the Dodgers. Harrison Bader is on the heater, the likes of which the world has never seen before. Don't even know what to believe. He ends up going up to the 6th hole today. That was fun. Cade Horton is going to be on the mound, and Cade Horton, 11.4% barrel percentage. We'll see how much Matt Wallner ends up in the lineup here, DHing. I would think a lot against righties still. Cody Clemens, probably a tough time with Willie Castro. Harrison Bader's playing himself into a full day, everyday rotational player against lefties, righties, doesn't matter what your name is. But Bailey Falter is the next interesting one. As for the pitcher, David Fiesta, probably going to get bludgeoned by the Cubbies. Can't believe we cashed that over. Pirates taking on Kansas City. Bailey Falter, 0 Ks. I legitimately have him for like 2.2 Ks. Let me know what you think of that. I ended up not enjoying the fact that we're just Kansas City doesn't strike out a ton. Bailey Falter is really incapable of getting swing and miss. I'm very curious to see where books open his line. Just want that on your radar. Mr. Radar. Love that from Spaceballs. Did you see Spaceballs 2 is coming out? Very important. By the way, Chris Bubich has been awesome this season. We're not going to pick on him. St. Louis money line, the St. Louis money line. Now, I'm not going to be going to the -1 here if I do anything in the old money line department, mainly because Andre Palante versus Mackenzie Gore. Mackenzie Gore is second on the entire slate in terms of xFIP. 3.19 xFIP, 2.8 WAR, trails only one pitcher, Chris Bubich, the aforementioned, on this entire slate. He's been ridiculous. It's been absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of also ridiculous to see 6 games Brandon Walter leads the slate in xFIP, but that is what it is, friends. Small sample sizes will do that. But Mackenzie Gore not striking out as many of late, and also 30.6% K rate looks good here. With Arenado not out there, maybe there are more strikeouts available, but Yoel Pazzo has not really struck out if he ends up getting a catcher day here. Need to see the lineup because Garrett Sampson, he's going to strike out. Victor Scott II, bottom half of the lineup, going to strike out a lot. A lot of props to kind of be up for debate based on that St. Louis lineup. We'll see. I think Arenado might be out till the All-Star break. We shall see. Over 8 for Cleveland and Houston. I just brought it up a second ago. Still hard to believe Brandon Walter's been this good. 51.9% ground ball percentage, 2.89 xFIP. Now, the home runs have still shown up. Short porch out to left here for some of the Cleveland pieces, but they just got after Hunter Brown in a way that nobody expected today. And obviously, that was the one thing that I glaringly got wrong on this program and yesterday. I thought Hunter Brown was going to pitch a gem. He did not. As for Cleveland, who are they going to be rolling out in this situation? My notes went away. Slade Ciccone is not very good, and that's the main reason. I do think Brandon Walter has negative regression pinned for him, and Slade Ciccone is really, really bad. I really don't like him. Arizona, San Diego, -1.5 here. I'm looking at the San Diego side because it is a pitching mismatch. Brandon Pfaadt is the one Arizona pitcher I do not expect for good things to happen to him going forward. 13.4% barrel percentage. His four-seamer, sinker, change, curve, cutter combination, it ain't working. They need to figure something out because this is a guy they just gave a chunk of money to, and it's looking like one of the worst contracts in baseball. The velocity is down 0.5 mile per hour. The swing and miss is down a lot more than that. The launch angle is down, but nobody really cares about that when you're giving up a 568 expected slugging and a 50.3% hard hit. So I think San Diego, they might be in line to actually put up some runs for once. It's like they just really never do that anymore. They really don't. Anyway, we got ourselves, the like section. As I said, the likes were absolutely screwed up. I should just break it like this. All right. Ready, break. Lindy 5. NFL will be coming up in 2 months. That's wild to think about. Also, I think I might be going to Ireland for a Minnesota Vikings football game. That would be lovely times. It was just in Ireland last year. It's a good golf. No big deal. Anyway, Lindy 5, $5 for your first week. Would love to see you guys there. Having some fun, making some money in the premium Discord. It has been a grind the last week. I hope we can just hit 2 home runs right away, not have all the tail right away. But you know what? Hey, we got a lot of really good plays across the finish line when it's all said and done. So with that, to the likes we go. Sorry about this. Again, Photoshop just absolutely shut down on me. I'm just sitting at home. I'm not doing anything. My wife's in Canada, but wanted to get the plays out to you before 11 o'clock because I can't figure out why my Photoshop hates me. New York Mets taking on the Baltimore Orioles, and they had a very interesting outing today. It was 6-2 and then absolute come from behind 7-6 beautifulness. I'm just going to compliment them, a little bit of a golf clap here for the New York Mets. They hung with it. Alonso goes yard, Lindor goes yard, a lot of the big guys there in a great hitting environment. And now looks like a good hitting environment. It's mid 70s, but lefty power plays up. That's not Alonso, obviously. And you got 2 pitchers in David Peterson and Tomoyuki Sagano. Really don't believe in. Now, Peterson, he's in the better spot because he's a lefty. He's shown out 6% barrel percentage is nice. 3.18 ERA is nice. But he's got a 4.18 expected ERA and negative regression pinned all over him. As for Sagano, over a 200 expected ISO against lefties. Yeah, he is not very good. No swing and miss stuff whatsoever. Really never walks anybody either. So that is, I guess that's one benefit. But I love the over of 9.5 here, minus 105 over on DraftKings. Next up, we got Texas and LA. This is going to be a quick like section when you do it like this, I suppose. I didn't really have a choice. We got Rocker versus Hendricks. And if you've listened to me talk about Kyle Hendricks recently, he's pitching like the old man at the Y. He is just playing ball, finding ways to be effective, however that looks. No swing and miss, 15.9% K rate, but an 86 average exit velocity off the bat. You're going to live in the major leagues still for another year or two doing something like that. Why is that? The soft contact stays in the infield. Ground ball contact is not really his thing either. So 16.8 degree launch angle. They're just soft pop flies that outfielders have a lot of time to get to. That's worked out well. It's a changeup sinker combination. He has four-seamer curve on the board, but they're not really pitches that he utilizes all that much, especially against some of the lefties. And the lefties are what I'm worried about the most. Corey Seager, Alejandro Osuna has not really been in the lineup a ton here, but you got Jonah Heim, switch hitter. You got Josh Smith. You got Evan Carter. Those are kind of the main guys. Now, some of the righties, Adolis Garcia has been hitting righties better over the course of the last couple of years. Just saying, it is what it is. Who just went yard? Brendan Donovan went yard. That is really good for us. St. Louis. Yeah. Others just smoking all day. Needed that. Thank you, Brendan Donovan, for being one of the real ones. We love you. Again, we need to at least win by 2, but -1 would be a push in that regard as opposed to a loss. We got 36 cents of closing line value on that one. Shout out Jacob again. But back to this one. Rocker is not good. 47.6% hard hit, 294 expected batting average, and the swing and miss stuff really doesn't exist here at the big league level. 20.3% K rate, 11.9% barrel percentage to go along with it. Oh boy. Oh boy. You best believe we're going to try to pick on him here. Los Angeles Angels, money line. Hit that like button as we round it all out with fireworks. I know you just got done setting them off. I hate fireworks for what it's worth. That's a conversation for a different day, but we got an amazing nightcap. Now, you thought it was fun to watch that first inning with 3 homers from Oakland on Tuesday. Well, get your popcorn ready here for Wednesday. I think you could get more of the same because it's Mitch Spence going for Oakland. And always be careful with the Atlanta props early because Oakland in the past has tried to shift over and done the opener thing. I don't think that happens now that they're just basically out of everything. They're playing for next year, and Jacob Wilson leaves this game early. It's a whole thing. But Bryce Elder, 530 expected slugging for the Atlanta Braves, 47.4% hard hit, 385 xWOBA, 10.7% barrel percentage, but only a 6.8 degree launch angle. So I was very specific about how I went about mapping some of this out. I think we are primed for some homers. Now, the numbers aren't out because they're playing baseball right now, similar to what I talked about with Jake Berger and Mr. Wyatt Langford the other night. But Rooker, Kurtz, Soderstrom. I'm focused in on those 3 specifically and not Lawrence Butler because of launch angle. It is a big deal. Lawrence Butler, only 6.7% launch angle. He had an inside the park home run here to start it off, but Brent Rooker, plus 325 is not probably what we're going to get coming off of a home run here on Tuesday. I can tell you that much. I set his baseline, though, to plus 255. I think he is looking amazing against Elder, who has over a 200 expected ISO to both lefties and righties alike. And as for the lefties, over a 320 expected ISO for Kurtz based off of his batted ball data already. And Soderstrom, I think he's kind of the sneakier one, only a 9.5 degree launch angle, but his splits are very pronounced. We know that by now. Fire him up. Also fire up Lindy 5 at the link below. Would love to see you all there. Lindy 5 for your first week. That becomes a very cheap offering, very cheap entry point to jump into the Lindy Discord. Plus, I think you'll like it. The water's warm. Jump on in. All right, that does it for a 20-minute Wednesday edition. Talk through a lot of intricate things on the bet. Obviously, sorry about the Photoshop. That does it for Wednesday's edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this slate. I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.